I see too many people wasting all their time and all their energy doing countless warm-up sets. So I'm just going to go over the approach that I use myself and advise all my clients to do as well. So let's talk pyramid sets then. This is the approach I recommend to everyone. The name is a visual representation of how the sets look. You start at the bottom of the pyramid, the lightest weight, the most reps, so the widest part of the pyramid. And then you do a few more sets, and each time you do another set, you're increasing the weight of the resistance and you're decreasing the amount of reps you're doing. It's key to remember, these are warm-ups. Don't waste energy here. Another good way of thinking about it is as feeler sets. Feeling out the weight, feeling out your setup and your technique. If you're on a machine, making sure you got the seat right and everything like that. Creeping your way up to your working weight. So let's get into specifics then. My first warm-up set is always between 10 and 15 reps, just to get the blood flowing. Second set, increase the weight slightly. I'm then looking at about 6 to 8 reps. Again, up the weight a little bit more, 2 to 3 reps. This is close to your working weight. Now, if you're doing something like a deadlift or your joints are feeling pretty rough, then I'd do one last warm-up set of just 1, maximum 2 reps. This should be pretty close to your working weight. And then after that, you should be feeling ready to go. Take these seriously, of course. Give them the right amount of conviction. You're preparing your mind here as well as your body. Further into the session, your body's already warmed up, so you're gonna need less warm-up sets. Remember, efficiency is key. For example, with push, there's a lot of crossover between the chest and the shoulders. Once you've warmed up and trained to failure on, say, a chest press, then you go and jump on a shoulder press. You're not gonna need 3 or 4 warm-up sets to feel good. You'll be good to go after 1 or 2, but of course, take your own practice and see what's best for you. So now we're warmed up, we'll talk our working sets. Now on a heavy exercises, I like to use reverse pyramids, also known as a top set and back off approach. So you've warmed up, and then your first set to failure is going to be your heaviest set on that exercise. Say you're working in the 5 to 8 rep range. Then after you've done that to failure, then going to reduce the load that you're using and shoot for maybe 10 to 15. Obviously these are just examples. The reason why we do this is because when you first come onto an exercise, you've got the most mental and physical fortitude. You can give it your all and you'll have the most strength on it. Flip it around, for example, and if you trained your lighter set, higher reps first, and then went on to try and do something heavier after, you've already taxed that muscle. You're not going to be able to hit the same amount of load and reps that you would have done having done it this way around. So when don't we use this approach? Well, when learning a new technique, going too heavy can jeopardize technique more than it can benefit us in terms of stimulus. Likewise, on small muscle groups like calves, it can be too risky to go too heavy. And on lateral raises, for example, there's an exercise with long lever arms. You defeat the whole point of doing an isolation exercise by going too heavy. And on an exercise like lateral raises, for example, where you're working at long lever lengths, you're going to defeat the whole point of doing an isolation exercise by starting to bring in a bunch of other muscles like your traps that you were trying to exclude from the exercise in the first place. On these exercises, you can still do a top set and back off, but the whole point of this is to do a low rep set and then a high rep set, so you're training both modalities. But on these exercises, I try not to go below 10 reps. So if you're doing this, you'd be doing a high rep set and an even higher rep set.